And we are up and running. Hello, everybody. Welcome into November 10th. Oh, John. John Williams has got the first speaker bot, as usual. Sunday night. Connected to the Zoom, was connected and kicked him out. Greg was here. He got connected, got kicked out. Now he can't get back in. Let me look into that real quick. Wasn't what I intended to do. Nothing has changed on Zoom. Nothing is locked. Nothing is, the waiting room is not enabled. It is actually open. So I'm not sure why Greg can't get back in. And hopefully my
John
audio
Williams
is
said,
fine.
"Good day of football."
Yeah, Greg was fine with him, and then he glipped out, and then he never came back.
Chris has issues with his internet right now. He's probably still hot spotting it, so therefore he's probably not being able to get in as easy and as often as he would like to. With Greg, I have no idea what's going on because I'm looking at everything and everything looks like it's supposed to look. My audio looks fine on the mixer going out to YouTube.
Howdy, Mrs. K!
There's Mrs. K did not go to work again tonight. She called early this morning and said, you know, not going to make it, barely can walk, yada, yada, yada.
Oh, really?
So, well, she's hobbling around. She's better, but her other knee's bothering her now. So, you know, we have to face reality. We're getting older. It's not.
Yeah, I was getting old at like 16. I was breaking down already.
Yeah, that'd be a tough pill to swallow, but
I think I was going too many before that.
excuse me, when you're 66 and 65, yeah, I mean, the reality is, I mean, I'm not as old as some of the people in here, and not mentioning names or anything, but I've got the majority of my life behind me. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not sure how Goya, I don't. TV official, Goya. I would say Goya.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would say it. Ghetto has his hand raised like we're in school. Yes, Ghetto.
You think he's gonna retire?
Nope, I do not.
He's still gonna keep chugging along, huh?
Imagine she is. And now we have the Jeff twins, which we can't have the Jeff twins side by side, so we're going to put on my screen, not on your screen. Now we definitely can't have this. You're on the.
I'm on top and he's on the bottom. And
Whoa.
top row, bottom row.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Yeah, that's the one fallacy with Zoom is that all of our screens are different. I wish they would actually get that fixed. And it does appear that the issue of when you come into Zoom, the microphones
John
are
Williams
no longer
Penske had a good day
muted.
in Arizona.
Yeah,
which is good.
No longer.
Did you have to change something to fix that? Or?
I did not. I did.
Weird.
I bounced in and out of Zoom all day long today, but I made no setting changes whatsoever.
Is weird stuff.
My day was spent on DaVinci Resolve trying to put together the trailer to which tomorrow's premiere, to which the trailer tonight was a little bit of what is on tomorrow. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. So, it was kind of fun throwing it together, actually.
Got my motherboard back.
I saw that.
Same motherboard. They claim they could not duplicate the problem.
They sent it out to a third-party place, right?
Right. This outfit does motherboard and other types of electronic repair for several computer vendors.
So were you shocked that they couldn't find anything?
No, I was hopeful they would find something. But it is
I'd send it back.
Same serial number.
I'd send it back. I would get a hold of them and say, look, let me clear that up a little bit. I would try it first, and if it does the same thing, I'm back on the phone, back on the email, and I'm saying, here's pictures and arrows, like from Alice's Restaurant. This is what's going on. You tell me why.
I was very clear about what I did exactly to test every slot. And the test report that came with it, it said we ran the Asus diagnostics, and we could not find anything. So I'm thinking about what I want to do. It would cost some money, but they do have several 4-slot memory sets that they say will work with this board.
Buying 4 at one time?
4 at one time.
Yeah.
4 in a kit.
4 in a kit,
But it's
right.
pricey. So I'm not sure it's worth doing that or not.
Right. Yeah, I would have to weigh that out as well.
Yeah. To buy 128 gigabytes worth, which is what I was originally aiming for, the kit's $425.
Man.
Well, you could turn around and sell that kit, that set you got now.
I know. Well, or I know that I can use 2 of the strips I've got now with 64 and just run it the way it is, assuming it didn't get screwed up.
What do you have? What do you have there, Jeff? What RAM do you have?
I've got some
Corsair.
G-Skill 4 by.
Okay.
Each kit is 2 by 32 gigabytes.
It's an inside joke, Jeff.
No, I kind of figured that. It's DDR5, right?
Yeah, DDR5.
That's what I'm after. So if you think about it, I don't know. That's my
Well,
next trip. So
Okay.
yeah.
What I have to think about what I want to do. I got
Sure.
information from Gigabyte when I inquired about a similar board there.
Okay.
The CPU is limiting,
Oh.
supposedly.
Hmm.
According
as-
to AMD, the 9900X or their even faster one is limited to 3,600 mega transfers per second speed if you put in 4 slots.
Oh, okay.
So two
However, Asus on their website shows that they have a 4 by 32 or even a 4 by 48 kit that will run at 5,200 or 5,600, which the CPU is not supposed to be able to handle with 4 slots. So somebody's full of beans.
Yeah, right. Oh.
Well, Lawn Dog, yeah, I have some software that I can actually use all that memory potentially. It's software that does radiation transport calculations, if that means anything to you.
So this is an AMD build?
Yes, AMD.
Okay. All right.
So I'm not sure how much more time and money I'm willing to put into this. I was doing this for a project, which is in itself a volunteer project. So
Right.
I'm spending a pot full of money just to help my professional society work on this stuff.
Sure.
And there's a limit to what I'm willing to give, if you understand what I mean.
No,
Oh, I
It's
do.
an excuse to build a nice system, and so, I mean, I'm enough of a geek to want to do that.
Right.
But there's also a limit. I mean, I'm not going to spend another $1,000 trying to make something work.
Right.
So what are you looking for, Jeff?
Well, I was needing. I'd have to look up there was a QLC list for the motherboard that I have, just to see what I need, and I don't know. I mean, I could
Okay,
try.
send me your email to me in chat on
Okay.
Zoom,
All right.
and then I will send you exactly what I have, and then
Okay.
you can check that. If I decide just to keep this board and run 64,
Mhm.
I would make you a good price on the other 2 if it's usable for you.
Right.
But there's no point in you getting it if it's not usable. And if
Exactly.
you got it and it didn't work, I would in fact take it back. I wouldn't stick you with it.
I'm going to answer. I don't normally do this, but Greg is not being able to get into our Zoom, and he's asking, are any of the other homies being able to get in here? I am going to
Right.
answer it real quick. Yes, most are here. I
Jeff,
wonder.
there's one crazy answer to find out and test.
Mhm.
There are any local computer places, shops that might have a chip that would run all 4 DIMM, memory DIMM, to find out if it's chip
Just a
or
slot.
the board.
Well, the DIMMs I have now are not, didn't come in a set of 4. I got 2 sets of 2.
Right.
They have
separate.
already told me that they will not
Working
certify those
Yeah.
with my board.
Yeah.
So on this whole thing has been partially my fault in that I didn't do complete due diligence. So we
I
will
just
see.
asked Greg if he's going to reboot his modem. I asked him if he was able to see YouTube or not, and he came back with he's going to reboot the modem, so that's fine. That's weird. I mean, Zoom's been doing some goofy things lately. We all know that from the last 3
And when
days.
Greg comes back in, if everybody now gets muted when they log in, we know who to blame.
That will be. You know what?
Oh, God.
If Greg comes back in and he's muted, I'm going to ask a volunteer to leave and come back in. And if they come back in muted, then yes, that's just something else we can blame on Greg.
Kidding me.
Why not?
Sure.
I'll do it.
Well, wait and let's see what happens when Greg gets back in, Ghetto, before we try an experiment or anything. It's kind of fun putting together
John
today's.
Williams. It is currently % auto format 10% and % current condition text % in % auto format location %.
And that's the city I want to move to. I've been trying to figure out how to approach Mrs. K on moving to this city where everything is currently % autoform temp %, current condition text %, and auto.
John Williams.
I can't
It is
even read
currently
it.
52 degrees
Auto format
Fahrenheit,
location.
11.1
Yeah.
degrees
Yeah.
Celsius, and overcast in Madison, Wisconsin. One Fish 26. It is currently 46.9 degrees Fahrenheit, 8.3 degrees Celsius, and light rain in Hornell, New
I'm
York.
gonna do an unboxing video tomorrow. I
So-
could have my pocket case coming tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool. It looks like the commands are stacking
Ski-Man
up on on top of
21632.
one
It is
another.
currently 59.5 degrees
Even though it
Fahrenheit,
says it has a 10-second
15.3 degrees
countdown.
Celsius, and light
looked
rain
like-
in Denton, Maryland.
Excuse me. It looked like there was 2 commands put in bang bang. One of them played, and about 3 seconds later, the other one played. So that's interesting. The max memory for the board is 4 times 48. I'm too old and too tired to figure that math out.
It's
But,
96 times
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
192.
You know,
That's good enough.
that's yeah. I mean, I tell you what,
I'm not going to do the max.
No,
yeah, I'm
I
good with the
remember-
64 I got. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. I've heard some guys on YouTube talking about maxing the memory on the board, and that is never tested as well as smaller amounts of memory, and it's often problematic.
Sure is.
I would not do 192 gigabytes, even were I inclined to spend that much money, which I'm not.
Oh, the only way I think I'd do 192 is if the max was higher than 192, because then you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
at max memory. I mean,
Exactly.
Right
Got a little
now,
leeway, sorry, but yeah.
I have found several kits of memory where you
So
can put
let's
4 DIMMs in
go.
supposedly,
I'm
and
Ran Israel said, just
A
cough. You're in
a couple
friendly
of them are
territory.
like 4 by 24,
Yeah,
which is 96
I know,
gigabytes.
but not
And
with
that's a
new
significant
people.
amount
New
in
people
its
come and
own
watch
right.
the show.
Sure,
People get
sure.
irritated with that. I
But
get
that,
irritated.
again, there's
Hearing
another
somebody
$300 and
clear
some
their
dollars
throat
I
over
got
and
to
over and
spend
Right.
with no
It's just not
guarantee
good
with this
form.
board that it's going to work.
Correct. You're right.
So
Yeah.
I have, and say if I order that off Newegg and it doesn't work, I've sent back 2 memory kits to Newegg already in the process of getting this build ready, that they might start labeling me as somebody from Phoenix.
You know, we were thinking alike because I was trying to think of a way to say that, but yes, that is a very good, valid point. So,
And so, I mean, I sent back 2 Corsair memory kits.
wait, is Catherine here? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, one of them I just accidentally ordered the wrong one, the first one.
Right.
And I sent it back completely untouched. I mean, so it was pristine and the boxes were never opened, whatever. And I may have sent the second one like that. I got it and then found out it wasn't supported, you know. So,
Right.
But so I'm leery about sending any more memory back to Newegg.
Sure.
Oh, I also sent back an NVMe drive to Newegg.
This
But
part of,
when I returned it, I said, I'm ordering the same drive except 2 terabyte instead of 1.
Yeah.
And I did. So each time I was returning something in the reason for the return, I said, I messed up. I decided I needed more. And
Honest
I'm
mistake.
going to buy
Right.
such and such, and I ordered it at the same time I asked for the return. Whether that helped or not, I don't know. Or whether I'm one black mark away on their blank list.
Right. You never know. Yeah.
You're not the
Never
first
know.
one who's probably ordered wrong parts.
Oh, sure.
Thoroughly
No,
checked.
but if you do too many returns,
That close
and
together.
Newegg paid the postage on the way back. I mean, no questions asked. They just said drop it off at UPS, and there it was.
And there's Greg, and he didn't come in muted. He came in normally.
Yeah, I'm here. Had to
So-
reboot my modem.
Okay.
We had decided if you came in muted, then he was going to kick me out, and if I came back in muted, then we were going to blame you.
And then we had a volunteer to test it, so good that it's not.
Unauthorized.
Ghetto, you don't have the live stream for the unboxing of the case scheduled? Uh-oh, did I lose my... Can you guys hear me?
I don't know.
Yeah, he said he's on his bike on his way to help me out. So.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
that's why- okay.
Yeah, you may have seen also when ASUS, when I got the RMA, they gave me all these instructions on how to overpack everything.
Oh yeah.
Supposed to be in 2 boxes, and the inner box was supposed to have 3 inches of bubble wrap or foam on either side of the motherboard.
Right.
And that was supposed to go in a larger box, which had another 3 inches all around it.
For a
And the box
motherboard?
Yes.
You don't get it that way.
Yeah, really.
And when they returned it, the inner box had 2 little pieces of foam that were about 1/16 of an inch thick around the anti-static bag. And it was rattling around in there, and that went in a just slightly larger outer box, which had bubble wrap all around it. But when they dropped the box off, there was a big hole in one side of the outer box, which Stephen shows in the photograph that FedEx took showing it was delivered.
Wow.
So, and the tape holding all this in the outer box, half of it was hanging off the box and whatever.
Grief.
I mean, they go to all this effort to tell you how to perfectly ship it to them. And then when they send it back, hell, it was lucky the damn thing didn't fall out of the box that shipped it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of a do as I say, not as I do type deal, it sounds like.
Well, if you don't pack it up really well and it gets there and it's damaged, then they're going
That's
to
your fault.
Yeah, you didn't pack it the way we said, sure.
And I spent about $40 on shipping. No, counting shipping, I spent $50 on shipping and packing that thing to get it
Wow.
there. The FedEx charge was $25, and I had 1 box and inner box I could use here, and I had a little bit of bubble wrap, but I went out and bought some foam and a larger box at the UPS store or whatever, and the box was like $9 just to buy one freaking outer box.
That's crazy.
A heavy cardboard box.
Yeah, I don't
It's like-
worry about boxes. I got plenty of boxes.
Well, I looked in Walmart and at Target first, and they didn't have any that size.
I saw an interesting box at Walmart today. It looked like it was a specifically built box to transport a TV in. It was about, I don't know, this wide maybe, and it was a box inside a box. The only thing I could think of is that's specifically to move a TV. But I don't know. I was actually laughing so hard that it wasn't funny because this long-haired hippie kid, and anyone can tell me the name of that song, I'll be impressed.
What, you went in Walmart with your hair down?
No, we needed a couple things to pick up that I forgot to get yesterday somehow, and I was like, it's not on the list, I'm not going to buy it, and it wasn't on the list. But anyway, someone had spilled a bottle of I don't know, let's just say iced tea that clearly came off the shelf. The bottle was sitting on the floor. It was a mess. It was a huge mess. And this young person was standing there going, with the deer in the headlights stare of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. Meanwhile, well, that part in itself was funny. Meanwhile, people just kept driving their carts right through it. So as they got out of this big puddle, they're leaving wheel tracks of going through the big puddle. It gets better. Then I'm standing there, and out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, I catch these two people walking up, and they were both managers. You could tell they were both management material. They come walking up, and they were like, well, Bob, what are we going to do about this? And well, Bill, I don't know. I think that guy will handle it. And they point to the little smart kid that's standing there who's totally I'm like, man, I'm running out of time here, boys. Let's get this cleaned up.
Wow.
Yeah, Ghetto, you got your hand raised.
You Bill want me to even come back?
No, we're good. Greg came in and he was not muted, so I'm guessing Zoom finally might have fixed that problem.
Okay.
That was 5-man. No, the song was not 5-man electrical band, although they probably did. I'm thinking of a Charlie Daniels song. I'll give you the artist. Let's see if Greg knows it. Charlie Daniels, his first hit. And it wasn't The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I never really followed Charlie Daniels.
I didn't follow him, but it was on the air at the time of the station I was listening to.
Was it
Uneasy Rider. That, see, Jeff? Did you Google it, Jeff, or did you know?
I cheated. I cheated. Yeah.
That
I'm a
actually
smart
came over
temporarily.
Jake's little thing he's got that we use on the golf course for music here a while back. And we actually stopped playing to listen to the entire song. Yeah, that's that's an old song, late or mid 70s, I think, 74 maybe.
It was.
I'm just guessing. I don't. I haven't Googled
79.
it. Was it that late? Man.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I read that right. 73. You're right. Pop
Okay.
charts top 73.
Yeah, that's.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah.
Self-titled. Wait a minute. Self-titled. Yeah. 73. According to this. Of course,
I was
that's AI.
23.
Oh, okay.
I was a teenager, so
I was a twinkle in somebody's eye.
I'm too tired to do the math. I was too tired to do simple math today. I had a 21-second clip I needed to cut in half. I was too tired to figure it out, so I got a calculator, 10 and a half. But I was just mentally, from putting things together and moving things and cutting things and splicing things, and oh my gosh. Now, by a show of hand, and again, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you did not see the trailer. How many people saw tonight's trailer?
I couldn't get in.
You couldn't get into YouTube?
Nope.
Well, the trailer's in the description. There's a particular part of the trailer that I'm really... And Rich, you're eliminated from the contest, by the way. There's a particular part of the trailer that I thought really turned out really good. And Rich and Darren sat through the painstaking DaVinci Resolve of me getting that to work out. And when I finally got it, I instantly made it a, what's that called? Well, I can reuse it. I don't have to ever recreate it again.
Saved it. Yeah.
It's like a macro, but it's not a macro. Yeah, I saved it. There's a specific word for it. Template. It's like a template.
Oh, okay.
Because if I didn't, I would have never been able to recreate what I did because it took a while to get it to where I got it. So, and you'll see it again tomorrow. It's not
Now,
going anywhere, and
is
you'll
that
probably
all-
see it again next week. Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but is
You're
that
fine.
I haven't been. I need to catch up on the DaVinci Resolve because I've kind of been watching it here and there. But is it auto saving as you go, or do you
Yes.
have to save it?
No.
Okay,
Dobie
okay.
Tech said you
Yes.
put the trailer in the description twice.
Dobie Tech, you're the first person that's finally noticed that. Yes, the trailer is in there twice. I thought about doing a ha-ha joke and putting two different trailers in there, but it is the same. I discovered it a while back, and I thought, I'm going to leave it there until someone tells me about it. But yes, you can set your autosave time to what you're comfortable with. And I set mine way back when I first started using it, and it was, at the time it was appropriate because I was too new at what I was doing, but now that time is just too doggone too short, so I lengthened the time. That's the only thing that's the only drawback I found on the DaVinci machine, is when it goes to autosave, it does take a few seconds. Now, you know, I'm complaining about a few seconds.
Does autosave?
John
Do what,
Williams
Jeff?
said goodbye,
So it
Ken.
is noticeable when it does an autosave.
Yes, you can't do anything
Adobe
while it's
text that I will
saving.
be right back. I
And
apologize.
Curious.
You get an hourglass about this big that shows up on the screen, and you're basically frozen. You can't do anything. And that depends on the project.
Instead of the hourglass, they should have a "You're number one" finger. If it's that slow.
It is pretty slow.
can make that
Well,
eventually.
it depends on the size of what the project
Sure.
you're doing, and then
Sure.
what's in the project you're doing, and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. A lot of my DaVinci stuff now has got a lot of moving parts to it. It's not like the good old days when I throw a picture, combine the pictures, and be done. I have a lot of moving parts. Good, Dougie. Good
Yeah.
boy.
I know you don't like reading the manual. I got a
Manual?
question for you.
What's that? Oh, the
Now
transmission
you're
you're talking
getting-
about?
Now that you're getting very good at DaVinci, when are you going to write a manual?
Oh, I'm never going to write a manual. I'm barely getting by with DaVinci 101, let alone writing a manual. And it's a trend. Long Dog says, I just have one question. You're trying to store this data on a spinning drive? Hopefully you're not. Actually, I am saving it on a spinning drive. It is actually being stored on a 16 terabyte spinning drive.
Is that where you're working from, or are you working on an NVMe and then copying it to the spinning drive later?
Combination of two. I'm working off the NVMe, and then everything gets saved over to the spinning drive.
That's where you get your speeds and let it load and all.
Yep.
Okay, so when it does the autosave, it's saving it to the spinning drive.
Yes. Yes. Maybe one of these days I'll stand on a street corner long enough I can afford a decent size NVMe drive and put it in there and transfer everything over to that.
Okay,
And I'll be good.
You could be saving it to the NVMe drive and then manually copying it over, but that's extra work.
That's probably about as broad as it is long, actually. But the difference between the two machines is the difference between day and night. If I were to bring this project in that I did today into the old machine, it would probably take about 7.5 to 10 minutes to render. It rendered on the new machine in 1 minute 35 seconds.
But on the new machine, you did get a better graphics card too, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right.
Nothing like the, what was that? $800 graphics card he showed last night. Were you here for that?
No.
Sean's got a build a little over $2,000, and the graphics card's about $850.
Yeah.
It's one of the top of the line, 24 gigabyte of DDR13
Okay.
RAM on it.
Well, I'm sneaking up on that price without a graphics card.
Oh,
Now that does count a new monitor too.
So
The
Long Dog
monitor
is saying he went to a
is
standard
pretty
solid state drive. I don't have a big enough solid state drive to experiment with on that. And he's saying he's just using an SSD. Go ahead.
No, but as you know, I've got this fast CPU, not the fastest. I don't have the most expensive with the chipsets either. But I did buy 128 gig of memory, and I have one 2 terabyte NVMe drive for the operating system, and I got a 4 terabyte NVMe drive to store data on. And all of that ain't cheap.
My data drive right now has. Is Jim here? Okay, good. My data drive right now has 12.8 terabyte of data on it.
wow.
So I mean,
16.
out of 16, yes.
Oh, bloody hell.
Darren goes, oh, bloody hell, that's nothing.
That's right, Eddie.
Well, I guess they collect a lot more stuff across the pond.
He's running a small television station.
You know, it is. It's about $1,000 for a 8 terabyte NVMe dock too.
Yeah.
8 terabyte will do me absolutely no good right now. I've already got 12.8 I'm looking right at it. I was curious as to what I have. What do I mean, if I get an 8 terabyte NVMe drive, what am I going to put the other 4 terabyte of data that I'm going to need?
Right.
Can't win. I can't win.
Well,
So
you'll fill it up over time.
over time, I would fill it up instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly.
It's already written to, right? The other
Yeah, I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
okay, so if I will take my left hand and we're going to hold this out. This is a brand new 8 terabyte NVMe drive. This is my spinning drive. It currently's got 13 terabyte of data. When I go to try to put that data on here, it's going to get to 7 point something and go, we're done. We're full. Forget it. Leaving me about, 6 terabyte of data over here. I am going to wrap the show up. If you'd like to join us on the Zoom panel, send me an email to k.z00m@gmail.com. I'll get you the credentials. We'll get you up here on the panel. And for the next week, the panel is going to be relatively quiet. You guys will figure that out as time goes on.
Yeah. Just for comparison, the 4 terabyte NVMe I bought, it's a team group, so it's not the best brand, but it's just to store data, and it was
John Williams
$217
saying goodbye,
for 4
Ken.
terabytes. So when you go from the 4 to the 8, see, you're paying almost 4 times as much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is-
I'll figure something out that I need to do, but for now,
So if
everything
you needed 8
working.
terabytes, you could buy 2 4s. I mean,
Yeah, and there's going to be those in the world that are going to say, there's why you need a NAS, move all that stuff over there. So let me wrap this up. I want to thank everyone on YouTube that was here. And I got to figure out a way to do this a little faster than I am. Dobie Tech was here. Goya TV, great guy. Jeff Ryman, not John. Jeff Ryman, John Williams, Long Dog, One Fish 26, Ski Man, which is also another Jeff. And Stephen, Tina, Jewel, and Tony Waddle, thank you guys so much for being here, as well as the Zoom homies, Rich, Bill, Jeff, Sam, Ghetto, Darren, and finally, great guy. Wait, no dinner, no ice cream, no pie, no, what, are you slipping or what's going on?
I had dinner early. I was hungry. I had Jimmy Dean's hot sausage,
That sounds good.
peppers and onions, and hot sauce on it. White rice with sweet chili sauce on it,
Dang it, I'm getting
and
hungry.
corn.
God, we had meatloaf and that was all. No vegetables, no potatoes, no nothing, man. It was good. So I am going to go ahead and figure out how to end this. Somebody just departed.
Yeah.
just reach over and pull the plug on the machine.
Yeah, really.
Oh no.
I was there a couple times today. All right, ending the